Hey there everyone, Mazarok here, and today I want to do my video on is WoW friendly for new players? To a degree. That's kind of how I kind of landed on the title and stuff, but I also want to talk about kind of it's also a mix of a question of, oh man, you still play World of Warcraft? And the arguments I'm going to be making are, good for both. Why do you still play this game? Why do you enjoy this game? And things like that. And it's funny, because you see on Reddit, some people are like, or I'm going to use Reddit as an example, but you can, on any social media site or anything, and it's always so funny where they're like, Shadowlands sucks, the systems are terrible, and all this stuff, and you see that they last logged on in Wrath of the Lich King, and you're like, it's not even the same game, man. It's not even the same game. So I want to make the argument towards both and kind of discuss it. So if you're a new player that's thinking about playing World of Warcraft and you're wondering why people still do, or, is it still good or anything like that, I want to talk about all that here. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe. I'm grateful for all of the support that everyone's been giving me over the last little while. I'm trying to put out content for you guys to enjoy and all that fun stuff as well, and just let this channel grow. As of recording, we are 2 subs away from 2,200, so thank you so much, everybody. There's a Twitch link down below. I'm streaming 5 to 7 days a week right now, and as well, Patreon link down below with, there's going to be a monthly D&D night draw, there's going to be a community raid night with prizes, transmog competition, trivia, and a bunch of fun stuff like that. Join me on Patreon if you'd like to join that, and lastly, there's a community Discord, any week auras, any LVOI profiles, anything you see that you would like to have. They're all for free down there. So, number one is, why do you still play WoW? Or if I return to WoW, or if I start WoW, is it fun? Is it good? Anything like that? And I'm going to make the argument that, yes, it's actually really good. It is a fun game that has an infinitely scalable difficulty system if you so choose to partake in it. You absolutely don't have to. Mythic Plus can honestly increase your skill as a gamer and team cooperation and team growth and social growth and all of this fun stuff as well as the 4 scaling difficulties of a rating. So you have LFR, normal, heroic, and mythic. And, mythic is not a walk in the park. Heroic is currently getting as harder than it's ever been. So you have all of these things at your disposal that does make things harder and more difficult that you can choose to partake in, but you don't have to. It's not necessarily a thing that you have to do. You don't have to join a mythic raid. You don't have to join heroic raid. You can do the content at the difficulty level that you choose. And that is, admittedly, a lot of fun. There's a lot of good things there. It's not like if you played back in Wrath or Cataclysm or whatever, you had the one dungeon setting at heroic or whatever, and that's all you had, and that's what you repeated every week. No, there's an infinitely scaling difficulty system in World of Warcraft where you can choose how difficult it is, and not to mention it's repeatable. It's infinitely repeatable with different affixes, with the the weekly affixes that you can set up, that you don't set up, that are decided for you and scheduled. Sorry. So it changes the way you pull dungeons and play dungeons, giving it a little bit of fresh air as well. Now, I think the affix system is currently a little bit too stuffed, but that's a topic for a different video, where there's just too many all at once and they rotate too much and it kind of changes a little bit too much. Although I have to say the affix system is going in the right place, as well as a seasonal affix. So there's once you hit a certain level of Mythic Plus, there is an affix that is just always there and is currently in season 3, is incredibly fun to play with and work with, and when we lose it, I am going to be sad because I really, really like my So you have that. And let's say you don't want to play competitive or, more difficult, challenging PvE content. The PvP scene is still very much alive. Very much alive if you enjoy PvP. And then there's open world stuff. If you want to collect mounts, I think we're over 450 now, mounts to collect. And not all of them are easy to get, by the way. At all. So, you can literally just play this game and try to mount collect for 40 hours a week, and for example, and you can easily play this game for years just trying to get those. You could absolutely do that because there's so many, and there's so many variety of ways to get them that you have content to work for. And if you stop and think about how many video games right now have skins, purchasable skins, or skins that you go and collect to customize your character to the way that you want. Well, guess what? WoW has through a number of expansions over the years, gained a lot of transmog, which is customizable skins on every piece of gear. Like, you know, you can customize your pants, your shoulders, your head, you know, everything. So if your goal is to just create the coolest looking, most badass character that you can come up with, or maybe the sexiest, whatever you want to do is whatever you want to do. You have like almost 20 years of content to run through and collect transmog, and you can just collect transmog all day long and still have stuff to do in this game, because there's so much stuff to do in this game. It is actually ridiculous, to the point now where I have a notebook with all of the weekly stuff that I do, because I'm after certain pieces of transmog, or I'm after certain pieces of this or that. So, you know, because I just want it. I don't want every piece of transmog in the game, but I do want quite a number of pieces of transmog in the game. For example, I'm doing on my DK, I'm doing the Necrolord, the Stitch Masters. That's it, the Stitch Masters. So you go along and you collect quests for all of these little creatures that you built, and you do them. And in those quest boxes, you have a chance to gain these anima-touched weapons at 750, which is a grind, mind you. It is a very long grind, and I know I'm in this for the long haul. There are ways to get them quicker, but it is also still a grind, and I don't have time for those. But this is a pretty easy farm that takes me about 45 minutes to do. And, you know, just kind of chill. Do some quests and chill, and I'm going to get a nice set of transmog that I know not a lot of people have at the end of it. So that to me is fun, you know, and that alone, that one thing that I'm aiming for takes me 45 minutes to an hour every week. So not too bad. Not too bad. New players should know is this game is large and expansive and has quite the learning curve to it at times. There's a lot of little hidden things within your class or spec that you may need outside help for. Wowhead, Icy Veins guides, community help. There's a Discord for every class and spec. You know, my community Discord to ask these tank questions and things like that. And if you're not willing to reach out or look into your spell book a little bit more, or kind of learn all these little things, it can be a little bit more difficult for you to kind of progress in endgame. But it's not going to hurt you in, you know, world-based content or things like that. It's really how much do you want to delve into endgame content, Mythic Plus, raiding, PvP. And for example, there's a lot of PvP things that I don't know about the tank specs. I just don't know because I don't PvP, right? So it's kind of a little weird thing like that, but the learning curve behind WoW can occasionally be fairly hard. The next thing where I want to make an argument towards why I play WoW and why I still enjoy playing WoW is the economy of games. Stick with me here. Okay? Because one thing that WoW actually has going for it is its subscription and the amount of gameplay it has tied to it. Okay? Back before, when I was playing all sorts of games, PC gamer, console gamer, all that fun stuff, I was paying $60 for a new game. It went up to $70 while I was still doing it for a brand new game. And sometimes I would buy that game and I'd beat it in a night or two. I had a lot more time when I was younger and I had no kids, so staying up for 8 hours and finishing a game till 4 o'clock in the morning was something I could do more often. But you'd finish it so quickly sometimes. Like, there's literally games I can remember buying. I think Bulletstorm is one of them. Incredibly fun game, but I beat the campaign in like 6 hours. And it had very little replayability, unfortunately. It just didn't have a whole lot of replayability for me, so I was kind of like, alright, I just spent $70 on this game and I'm done it in like 4 days. Great. Well, you do that multiple times and you're spending a couple $100 a month. Yes, there's sales that you can get on games now with the PlayStation Store and Xbox Store and Game Passes and all this stuff that you can constantly have access to some games. But the thing is they're not always good. Now, there are some where I'll admit I may have beaten in a night or two and was absolutely worth every penny that I paid to be able to play that game because the story was just absolutely incredibly amazing and it was absolutely worth it. Even if I beat it quickly, it's one of those games that I still have on my shelf because it was that good and I'm happy that I played through it. But that's not all the time. That doesn't always occur, and you take a gamble with that. With World of Warcraft, I pay for the subscription, and I pay for the expansion that I'm currently in. They don't charge you for previous expansions anymore. You just have to pay for the current expansion that's out if you want to play that current expansion that's out. So I pay, it's $18 a month, and I know I have weekly content that resets. I have an infinitely scalable system that challenges me, that allows me to grow and be a better player, with 12 very robust specs that all play differently. Classes, with specs within those classes that'll let me play differently, play different play styles, and allows me to approach a dungeon more differently. I am mainly a Mythic Plus player. That's what I enjoy doing. Well, if I'm pulling something on my Prot Warrior, for example, on my Protection Warrior, I may not be pulling that same thing the same way on my Brewmaster Monk, because they're two different ones. So that even that alone allows me to have a difference in the style of game that I play within the same dungeon in the same week. And that makes it incredibly fun, but it also saves me a lot of money, because I can just go into World of Warcraft and play to my heart's content, very rarely be actually bored with the game, because there's always something you can do. You can run old raids, you can run old dungeons, you can go through and you can quest through a multitude of zones at your leisure or your speedness if you want, and you can start speed leveling. There's a community in this game that just loves focusing on speed leveling, how to get a character from 0 to 60 as fast as possible, and that to them is their sort of entertainment, which that's what this game is. It's entertainment, right? That's what a game is. So you want to be entertained to the best of your abilities, to the best of your mental capacity. I don't know, but there's so many things for you to do, and it's only $18 a month. And when you take that into consideration and in mind, it's actually very worth it than buying 3 brand new video games at $90, I think right now, $89.99 for a brand new video game, and it being a dud. You get one of those games a month, and World of Warcraft is cheaper to play. So a lot of people think because it has a sub, it's more expensive. Not necessarily true at all. Does that mean that I never buy new video games? No, I occasionally buy them, but I'm a lot pickier on what I buy now. A lot pickier on the games that I buy, because I want the $90 that I'm about to spend to be good, for the game to have replayability, and something that I can go into whenever I want and have fun. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes you just beat a game, and that game was incredibly fun. You bought it, you loved it, the campaign was awesome, you spent a week on it, or 2 weeks, or whatever. It was incredibly fun, you had a blast, but it has 0 replayability. Which, that's just the chance you take. With WoW, there's constant replayability. And on top of that, there's seasons. So just because we're in the current expansion of Shadowlands, we're on Season 3 of Shadowlands, right? And those seasons have been a little bit longer, and that's due to COVID and other development systems that, you kind of have to, just deal with, unfortunately. It's the way that it works. But with every new season, there's a new raid. There's a new Mythic Plus affix. Sometimes there's new dungeons, because we got new dungeons this season. 2 new dungeons that, honestly, are super fun and a lot of fun to play around and a lot of fun to play with. So that was a whole new learning experience, going into those dungeons and learning how they work and everything like that, and to challenge you and to get things going. There's achievement hunting. There's so many things that you can do that actually make WoW incredibly fun. Is the game still alive? Absolutely it is. Now, I can't make a video like this without addressing Blizzard management. I love World of Warcraft. I honestly do. I've built my channel around this. It's kind of obvious with the way I'm talking about it, and I'm making the case for why new players would have a lot of fun with World of Warcraft too. There's a lot to do. And on top of that, before I mention that, I also have to mention the revamped leveling system. The leveling system in World of Warcraft for a new player is better than it's ever been. Instead of spending short periods of time in a multitude of expansions to gain yourself the levels that you need, you can literally spend your time. The first time you go through, you have to go through Battle for Azeroth story, which is not super terrible. There's a lot of great moments actually in that, but it's not their best story in the whole world. But once you've done that, you can go through and level from 0 to 50 in any expansion that you want. After 50, going into the new expansion Shadowlands for that story there. So the new player leveling system is absolutely great, and Exile's Island, Exile's Reach, the new starting zone that's based around all race and specs, is fantastic for new players as well. really, really good for kind of learning the little core of what WoW is, and you can still explore and all this fun little stuff. And oh my god, the Easter eggs in this game, man. If you just want to spend your time looking for Easter eggs all day long, you can absolutely do that and just constantly find great stuff. I'm learning something new about this game every day. But, alright, so let's talk about management for Blizzard. I am not a fan of Bobby Kotick. At all. I think that man is literally the, he encompasses everything I absolutely hate about corporations and company management and everything of that sort. I do not like him. I'm not a fan of corporations in this game to begin with. I'm really... not in this game. I'm not a fan of corporations to begin with. And I think they're technically ruining the planet for profit, which, I mean, science has shown, hey, yeah, that's kind of true. But whatever. That's a whole other topic for a whole other day, which I'll probably not cover on this channel because this channel's about World of Warcraft and not how about our planet's dying. I don't like that. Now, currently Blizzard is in the process of being bought by Microsoft, which Microsoft has said that they're going to endorse, and they're going to, not endorse, but they're going to allow any company within Blizzard, because Blizzard Activision is a multitude of companies down, that if they want to unionize, they're going to support that, and they're going to allow them to, do what they want for their, company happiness, which is great because currently Activision Blizzard is fighting with large amounts of, like union busing tactics, anything that any of them are trying to do. Raven QA recently voted to unionize, and it's been this whole big thing with Blizzard and shit like that. So I'm not saying the company itself is perfect. I'm really not. In fact, I don't like a lot of the current practices that shareholders and upper management do. There's the new Diablo Immortal thing, which a lot of people are kind of blaming Diablo Immortal for their current monetary system, for how it's kind of very predatory, and I say that very lightly. The super predatory monetary practices that they've been doing, but that's kind of what mobile is now. That's not Blizzard didn't invent the wheel here with the monetary practices that they're doing with the Diablo Immortal. They didn't. That's just kind of how it works now. And it's been worked, like, Blizzard's not the first, they're not the innovator here. If you look at any video game, mobile game, you go and you look, and the first thing I do whenever I think something looks cool and I'd like to join, and it, there is a free-to-play aspect to it, I will go to the monetary shop and see how much things are. And if one of the first thing that I see on a shop is, hey, this is $99, I'm out. I'm not playing this because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get 5 pop-ups every time I finish anything in that game on how I should spend upwards to $100 and $140 for a specific super popular bundle. That, to me, I'm out. You've experienced it. It's not just Diablo Immortal that happens, but WoW doesn't have that. Outside of your sub and the current expansion that you buy, you don't need to spend any other money on this game. You can buy mounts. They're purely custom. It's purely flavor. You don't need a mount in this game to do any content. Well, you do to fly around and stuff, but it's not going to make you better at that content. Whether you have a Mythic Sylvanas or a Mythic Sepulchre, the first ones, mount, or you have the base mount that you buy in the main city, you're getting the same thing. You're getting the same amount of flight speed. You're getting the same amount of bonus, which is you can fly around. That's it. There's certain transmogs that you can buy. Purely customizable. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. You don't have to spend the money if you don't want to. And there's literally no harm in spending that and not spending that money. You're not losing out on a gameplay experience. You're really not. You can choose to buy it if you so wish, and that is absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. But there's no super predatory spending habits in this game. There's none, right? I mean, there's definitely some weird gold stuff that can happen, but that's all in-game, right? If you want to gamble your gold in-game, I enjoy gambling. I have fun gambling. I gamble gold in raid all of the time. We do these things called death rolls, and I'm usually the first. Whenever anybody asks, I'm usually the first one to join. Have I lost millions of gold? Yes. Have I won millions of gold? Yes. But guess what? It's all in-game gold. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My bank account isn't being drained by this gold that I'm losing in World of Warcraft. Get what I'm saying? Versus the amount of money that you spend to play some of these mobile games. So all in all, that's why I still play WoW. I absolutely love it, and I can go on and on about this for a while. But if you're a new player thinking about joining WoW, give it an honest chance, okay? Honestly, a lot of the people that crap on the game haven't played the game in years. And the game isn't what it was even just a couple of years ago. The devs are listening to the players a lot more. The systems are getting a lot more streamlined, a lot more base. Even at that, they just opened up cross-faction play this patch where Horde and Alliance can play together, right? And that has opened up raiding parties so much. That has opened up Mythic Plus so much because there's so much more people to play with and have fun with, and just meet new people and meet new friends and be social and join guilds. Now, of course, we don't have cross-faction guilds yet, but I mean, everything's opening up, and things are super good right now. And things have been good for a while. Things have not always been this good, and like a game, it has its ups and downs, but it's consistent. $18 a month, pay my sub, I get to log on, play with my friends, meet new people, have fun in communities and all this stuff, while challenging myself to more difficult content every single week that I play, right? I'm progressing in Mythic Raid, I'm progressing in Mythic Plus, I'm doing higher and higher keys, and I'm just having so much fun doing it. So, is WoW new player friendly? Yeah, I think it is. Is WoW a ton of fun? Yes, it absolutely is. Is WoW worth your time? That's for you to decide. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this video helped, and have yourselves a good day.